What is up, guys? It is about 4 p.m. I am still sick. It's not a big deal, but I'm not working out today. Today was like one of the craziest days in the last few months because I basically woke up and I started to go deeper into something that I told you about a few days ago, which was creating kind of a knowledge base, or however you want to call it, manual for life with Notion. I started digging deeper into that, and that's what I did basically the whole day today, really thinking about how I can make a second brain out of Notion, having all the topics of my life or the areas of my life written down and then connecting these things and really also making it useful for improvement. So having the option to take notes, write down experiences, which are also notes. So taking notes on knowledge, on experiences, quickly being able to assign them to a specific area. And then once I go into that area to deepen my knowledge, I can use the notes I took and the experiences I made and kind of form new knowledge. And in that way, I counter the weakness of the brain, which is forgetting and being emotional. Those are two things that the brain is very bad at. Once you learn something, the probability of you forgetting it is very high. So you have to relearn it in a way, or reread it to remember it, and sometimes you won't ever remember it again. Emotional is having biases. So when things happen 100 times and 60 of those 100 times went good and 60 went bad, it might be that your brain doesn't take it as 60-40. It might take it as 90-10 or 50-50 because it's emotionally attached to things. And so in that way you can really track your stuff. Let's say, for example, I work out in the morning and I write down after every workout, I just write down a quick note like morning workout was good, morning workout was bad, and do that for every day. And then maybe I do a different workout plan and then I write down the experience of that, and I can quickly sort it into the area. And once I go into that area, I can go through the stuff, analyze that stuff, broaden my knowledge, and also think about making YouTube videos, think about talking to others about your experience, not like in the past where you would sit at a fireplace and say, 60 years ago I did this, or people saying, I've done it so many times, I know how to do it, or this has never worked. There you have like real data that you could use. So guys, there's not really much to say about the day today because I was just here thinking about that stuff, working it out, and it's actually pretty sophisticated but also crazy. And of course there's many issues and it's not perfect and this and that, but what system is perfect except for nature? And even that is just in the objective view. Overall, nature is evolving, but you are gonna die, so for you it is perfect until a certain point, because you as a biological human being do not like death or pain. So it is not perfect because you will endure pain at some point. But this system, to break it down, right now, the state of it is I have topics, which is kind of my database for knowledge, structured from the top down. So let's say I call it life or Marian, whatever it is, my name. And then like business, health, relationships, whatever you want to structure it. And then those topics under that. And then I have links to every of these topics for experiences, knowledge, ideas, and also a user's manual, kind of a principles or how to act kind of playbook. These first three things, so experience, knowledge, or idea, I can quickly take a note, like on my phone, I click, let's say, write down idea or write down knowledge or write down experience, and then I can just type like bad pull workout in the morning, and then I can connect it to the topics that are related. So in this case, it's just working out and maybe time of the day, but I could also say bad workout in the morning in a fasted state, and then it's linked also to nutrition. So I just quickly typing the topics, so workout and fasted, or nutrition or fasted, whatever the topics, whatever my structure is, then I have this experience logged forever, and I can look back at it like 20 years later. And then in 20 years, I have hundreds of logs of me being in a fasted state when working out, when traveling, when whatever. And I have so much like data about myself. And the other thing about knowledge or ideas is, I mean, this is self-explanatory. You hear something in the news, or someone tells you something, or you read something in a book. This is knowledge, but you have to really confirm it for yourself. So you don't just incorporate it in your knowledge system, but you say, okay, this is knowledge that I have to check. And then at some point, if I go into, let's say, psychology, I have 15 points that I wrote down in the last 3 months, which I will all work through and incorporate into the knowledge structure. And then I kind of have everything that I ever experienced. And of course, this is why it's not perfect, because you can't monitor everything. You can't be on your phone just taking notes all day long. But I do journaling myself in the evening for 5 or 10 minutes where I write down I was eating too much, or I was having issues with my phone, or I was very productive in the morning, but then I ate something and then I wasn't productive, and then I write down what I ate. I was listening to this music. Whatever you are doing, you could also just take those notes individually, kind of saying, I had a productive day today, productivity, work. Had some issues with social media, especially after eating in the afternoon, social media, productivity, focus, nutrition. And then you kind of link these things and their experiences, and then you could sort those experiences by date and just see what experiences you had at this day, which is basically your journal. Or you sort those experiences by the topic, so focus, and then you see like, this was impacting focus, I had bad focus here, good focus there, and you kind of see the relations. And in that case, you were really building like evidence for how to live life better. Because now you see this works, this doesn't, typically after 150 tries. And so I know I should do this more in the future, I should do this less. This is crazy, I know. But enough of that, I will continue building this and I will keep you guys updated. But I believe this is not going to be an interesting topic for most of the people, because it will only be interesting the longer I do it. Because the longer I do it, the stronger this system gets, because it's a compounding effect. And at some point, people are going to think to themselves, how does he manage to make all of these things happen so precisely, so deeply? And that's the answer. Because I don't just always off the top of my head have to think about stuff. I also have a database that I could look at and say, these are the 28 things you can do to improve your looks, whatever it is. So with that said, if you want to see more about this and how this thing evolves and kind of see it in the day-to-day workflow, I can let you know about it. Just let me know down in the comments. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, leave a thumbs up, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.